I'm so pumped up? You guys ain't even ready for tonight. You guys ready for tonight? We worked 12 hard months. You gotta work before you play hard, guys. This is work right now. This is what we put in. You guys don't even know. I'm so excited for tonight, guys. Let's finish this thing off strong. You know, we have a great session. Can you guys believe it's December? It's the last day of Wealth Bowl. We've been planning this thing all year, and here it is. We're in the last night. How quick was that? How quick was that? Already here. We've been here since what, Wednesday? It feels like I got here 4 hours ago. Isn't that how you guys feel? That session yesterday was like 12 hours, whatever it was, and it felt like it's not enough. How's the Wealth Bowl so far, guys? Isn't this a crazy, great event? All these great speakers, and you know, I think sometimes we take our speakers for granted. I was talking about this with our team yesterday. You know, we always get hyped up when we see Juan Jaime come in, Ling Lee. How awesome was she? I was like, oh, here we go, another Asian accent speaker. I'm gonna fall asleep. I'm not gonna understand what she's talking about. Here we go, and I was just like, I was blown away. Like that was raw. That was raw, and it's just stickability. I think that's been the main focus on. That's been the main point with all these speakers is it's longevity. Like Juan Jaime, he was stuck at 100 for a long time. Ling Lee, same thing, right? All the speakers at even June was pretty quick, but I think a lot of times we take it for granted, and we got the great. How did Eric do yesterday? Every time he speaks, it's like a notch above the rest. Would you guys agree? And like we take it for granted because we have him every single day mentoring us, you know. And we'd kill. I mean, imagine if you're in another office and you saw that, you never saw that. We see it every single day, but sometimes we take it for granted. G's the same thing. And Milet spoke yesterday. How was that? Milet, you guys get something from that? You know, Milet is you know, the more he spoke, I was just thinking to myself, I was like, that's Eric. You know, the lineage, the pedigree. You know, we have Milet at our helm right now, showing us exactly what has to be done, but it's like a new school Milet, because Milet's like old school, right? He didn't have the internet. He didn't have to deal with this new generation, and that's kind of what's exciting. I think this is the next wave of this. We're just gonna grow giants. You know, and I think you know, this Wealth Bowl is going by quick. And tonight, it's gonna be over before you know it, so just enjoy it, guys. This is gonna be an awesome morning. We have great speakers. You saw Milet, you saw G yesterday, you saw Eric. You haven't seen nothing yet, though. You meet the speakers today, you haven't seen nothing. We got YZ Chen. Sophia Sue's coming up. Abigail Miller. Daniel Corona. You think these guys are good? You think Milet was good? That's nothing. We got Jeff Milet, baby. We got Jeff Milet. Man. But you know, Eric brought me on stage today because he wanted to talk about a fired up topic. It's called it's about scheduling, guys. Let's get fired up about this. And you know why? I gotta get fired up about it because look at what happened these last 3 days. How quick was that? When G was going through those slides of his year, wasn't that awesome? And I'm thinking about it like, wow, that year was just like, those of you that have been in the business longer than a year, 2 years, you understand once you dive into this business full time, this isn't a job to where you gotta clock in and you gotta wait 8 hours and you gotta wait 7 days of the week to go to the weekend. Like over here, it's happening every single day. Like gas pedal or not, like it's up to you. Like what do you wanna do? Do you wanna go full on, pedal to the metal? Do you wanna just sit back, relax, and let things happen? And look at that year that G had. And just seeing every single month of like what we were doing, that's a lifestyle right there, guys. Wouldn't you guys agree? Yes. Like, I'm screwed now because I can't go back to work. You know, that's the worst thing about WFG, guys. I'll tell you right now. Here's a disclaimer. Once you taste this, you can't go back. It sucks. I mean, it doesn't suck, but I mean, at the same time, never gonna have a job again because look at that. I mean, and the leader's talking about 100,000, like we're almost ashamed of it. Like Ling Lee was like, oh my God, I'm at 100 for 6 years. In corporate America, you make 100, you made it, right? That's on a W-2. Like what other company is you're so ashamed of making 100? Like that's entry level here. If you just got serious, and half-assed it, you make 100. And you get ripped. You get ripped. We had S&B, I like how Jeff brought up the S&B valuation because we had people getting ripped for making 300, 400. Because we have people making 300 doing nothing. So what other company in the world can you get ripped on for making $300,000, $400,000 a year? Because look, it's the leadership. You know, we're part of a team that we're nowhere near where we want to be. And I think for you guys to get us to the next level, it's not about us because we did what we had to do. 100,000. It's like if we do what we got to do, we'll get to 100. You can get to 100 by yourself. You want to get to 250, 500, a million. You need to get Eric to 500 this year, right? We're doing this by convention, right? You guys with us? So what's that going to take? That's going to take you guys stepping it up. And I was you 3 years ago, and I'm going to go over. 2016 was our first wealth bowl here, and I'm going to show you kind of how much we were making before that, and then made a decision. Because we followed the strict schedule. And I think a lot of you guys that are part-time right now, you have to make sure that you're making it happen just on a part-time basis, because we're part-time. I think this month we're 1 year full-time. Yep. Awesome. So we hit SMD, hit the ring, we're all part-time. And I think that comes with a strict schedule. And those of you that are young right now, like we did it with kids, she was pregnant. So those of you that are young, single, I mean, we have just a bunch of hungry individuals in the room right now you have a lot of time to hustle. Like right now, it's a time to grind. I wish I was grinding in my 20s. What did I do in my 20s? I was working 9 to 5. I was making great money, but I wasted 8, 9 years of my life just doing the same thing over and over. And I think what a great thing about what the leadership was talking about, like my lead, he's like, I don't care about money. I got the jets, I got the houses, but it's about getting yourself uncomfortable and doing things you hate to do. Like G, not eating tortillas. A Mexican eating no tortillas. Like right there, that leadership, just that, this is why we're in this organization. Tortillas, see I have a good accent because... I can roll that R, baby. That's just like a taste. That's just a taste of what kind of leadership you guys have in front of you. Like these guys are making big money, but at the same time, they hate where they're at. Like if they hate where they're at, why are you guys so comfortable with where you're at? Isn't that crazy? And I was talking to our team about this yesterday. It's like Milette's hanging out with the world-class leaders of the world. Like he's hanging out with Tom Brady, Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins, he mentors presidents, and he mentors during the Bill Clinton scandal, Bill went straight to Tony. Right? And he had to so we're talking about people that are seriously running the world. We're talking to people that are mentoring people that run the world and that are running this company, and it's just higher levels type of thinking. And you can't get that anywhere. I don't care how you guys paid 130, 150, and we're tapping into a mindset that's the highest level. You can't go to work and talk about the stuff they talk about. Like all the stuff you heard yesterday, this is higher level. This is billionaire, power to the next level, and we can tap into that. Isn't that crazy? You can't go to work and talk at the water cooler and talk about things that are going to change the world. You're talking about, you see the game? Hey, well, how's your day going? Oh, same shit, different day. I used to say that. And thought it was funny. Hey, same shit, different day. And it was a different day, but it was the same shit. And you're talking about these guys, top class leaders like Milette, they're just trying to get out of their comfort zones every single hour, every single day, right? And I think scheduling is a big part of that, right? So I'm gonna get into some stuff right now, and I'm gonna get fired up about it because you know what? Scheduling is everything. Because if you miss this train, if you go on and you taste this business, your year will fly by. Like those of you were here last year and you said you'll make 2017 a year of your life, but look, it's come and gone in a heartbeat. And I was just tripping out when G was showing those slides. And I was like, wow, we did all that? And we're just getting started. We're just getting started. So my question to you guys is, who's coming with us? Right? It's gonna happen. I mean, we're taking you guys with us. And I think that's the next level is, there's people in the crowd right now that I see some great leaders popping up. And I'm very excited about it because our leaders were established. I think now it's time to establish you guys. This is the next level. This is the next level. We're not saying these things to say. It's funny, my first Wealth Bowl, like whenever I saw these big speakers speak, I always thought, oh, they're just saying this to get us to stay, and they're just saying this to make us do it. Why? I mean, this is, and the longer in the business, you start to realize they're saying this for a reason. So you guys have to implement exactly what they're saying. It's weird at first because you're not used to it. But you've been hanging around people at work. You're not hanging around people that are with world leaders. You're not hanging around business owners. You're not hanging around millionaire billionaires. You're not hanging around this stuff. So when they're speaking, they're speaking higher level. They're not gonna go down to our level and try to relate to us. So sometimes it seems a little weird. Why are they telling us to do this? Why are they telling us to keep our heads down? Why are they telling us to not listen to others? And my best advice to you guys is, take it and mark my words, the longer you're in the business, this is all gonna start to click. And like we're in our third Wealth Bowl now and everything clicks and everything just makes so much sense. And we have the best leadership at our disposal, guys. So, let's get into this talk. Let's get into this talk because I wanna party tonight and I wanna get it going. You guys ready? Hey, you guys ready for tonight? You guys better be responsible. Those of you 21 and under, I better see some juice and stuff. Let's go to this next slide, please. OJ. Hey, be coachable, guys. Be coachable. If Eric ain't drinking, why are we going overboard? And that's the big reason why we got in this hierarchy, because we live that lifestyle. We like to have a good time. At the same time, you want to make big money. You got to do what these guys are doing. You're not going to see Eric wasted. You're not going to see Juan Jaime wasted. You know what I'm saying? And it's fun, but you want to make some big money. I mean, success leaves clues, guys. That's exactly why we chose to join this hierarchy. So let's write this down. This thing changed my life. This is crazy. If you guys read a book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, pick it up. Like this, you read some books and they just totally revolutionize, like they'll change your life. This is one of them. And this is just a chapter on scheduling, which blew my mind because he just broke it down in a way to where you won't even think. Okay, so all activities can be categorized based on 2 factors, right? So write this down. Write a box with like a little cross, okay? And then you have it on top, urgent, not urgent. Okay, so draw this quadrant out. And then on the left, there's 2, there's important and not important. Just draw it out. All right, we're gonna list these activities. And this thing, it just blew me away and how much time we waste during the day. If you wanna schedule your time right, it's about scheduling, but you have to focus on the right things. A lot of times we have a schedule, but we're doing things that don't really matter in the business. And this right here just hits it right on the nail right here. So quadrant number 1, which is top left, is important but urgent, okay? It's important and it's urgent. So this is the things that kind of control us, which the activities would be like a crisis, team members freaking out, oh, we can't check in our room, pressing problems, he's thinking about quitting, and chargebacks, deadline-driven projects, so those are just some examples. They're urgent and they're important. Right, so just write them down, then we'll discuss them after we get it written down. And then you have quadrant number 2. Quadrant number 2 is urgent and not important. So these are like interruptions. It's like phone calls. It's crazy how when a phone rings, oh, who is it? We interrupt everything to answer a phone call, and it probably doesn't really mean much anyway. They can wait 5-10 minutes, but at the same time, we let it control our lives. Popular activities, that's a big one. So popular activities, what's popular? Going to Coachella, right? These are the EDC, that's popular, right? Shows, events, things that are fun, movies. Going to the movies, that's popular. It's urgent because you make it urgent because it's fun. But it's not important. Does that make sense? Yes. All right, so quadrant number 2, or that was quadrant number 3 on the bottom, right? Yes. So quadrant number 2, top right, is relationship building. This is spending time with your team, recognizing new opportunities, prospecting maybe, meeting some people, shaking some hands. This is opportunity, guys. Right? There are a lot of sharp people in this hotel as well, and I've seen a lot of sharp people getting prospected. So if you guys are not involved in that, planning. How about planning, right? And as you can see, this is not urgent, but it's very important. right? It's not urgent because planning, I can do that later. I can do that in 5 minutes. I can do it tomorrow. It's not like a phone call to where you have to answer it now because you only have 5 rings, right? That makes it urgent. So that's quadrant number 2. Quadrant number 4, which is the bottom right, it's not urgent, but they're not important either. So this is like busy work, checking emails, time wasting, watching TV, pleasant activities. Pleasant activities. So these are watching TV, everything that you like to do when you're off. I don't know what you guys like to do, arts and crafts, whatever you like to do. All right. So check this out. So quadrant number 1. Okay. So think about the things that you do that are urgent and not important, right? You spend our time managing the crisis and problems, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger until it consumes us. A lot of times they seem like, oh man, I gotta do that. And a lot of times, these leads to stress, burnout, consistently putting out fires, right? And this is like going on ring runs. If you have a big team now, you're constantly doing things that are stressing you out, right? And we feel like it's urgent because it's happening right now. Like you have to alleviate the situation instantly. All right, so that leads to a lot of stress, burnout, consistently putting out fires. And no one wants to do that in the business, and that's the tough part. All right, quadrant number 3, the bottom left, all right, that means we spend most of our time reacting to matters that seem urgent, when in reality, it's perceived as urgency is based on priorities, expectations of others. These are not your priorities, it's other people's priorities. All right, this leads to short-term focus, feeling out of control, and shallow, broken relationships. All right, it's gonna get good. I just want you to kind of relate to like what these are in your life. Okay, like think about the activities that this can relate to in your life, and then we'll discuss what we should be focused on. Okay, because we have all 4 of these, all of us, right? Quadrant number 4 is we're basically leading an irresponsible life. So 4 is bottom right. We're basically leading an irresponsible life. Like this leads to getting fired from jobs, being highly dependent on others, going to shows and not going to work, calling in sick, and just doing things that are pleasant for you. And lastly, quadrant number 2. So quadrant number 2 is the top right, on the top, right? So it's not urgent, but it's very important. So check this out. So quadrant 2 is at the heart of effective personal management. This is where it's at. Quadrant number 2. This is where it's at, right? It deals with things like building relationships, long-term planning. So building relationships with your team. This is important, right? Long-term planning, exercising. A lot of you are good at that, right? So preparation, things we all know need to be done, but somehow seldom, we don't really get around to doing it because we don't feel it's urgent. Like working out, I can do that tomorrow. I didn't work out this morning, I should have, but I'll do it tomorrow. It's not urgent, right? So in order for us to focus our time on quadrant 2, so quadrant 2 is where it's all at. So I think our first year in the business, we're so focused on things that are pressing problems, kind of urgent stuff that you keep doing. The reason why we neglect not urgent and important is because it's not urgent. So what we do, we keep pressing it and we keep shoving it to the side. So now what we're trying to do, now that we have our ring, we hit S&D, because when you're in a run, you have to go on urgent stuff. You have to go on meetings, you have to, there's cancellations, you have to deal with your team. So now we're trying to focus on quadrant number 2, where it's, let's go next slide here. So, look at that. So the key is not to prioritize on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities. So when we focus on quadrant 2, it means we're thinking ahead. We're working on routes, preventing crises from happening. It helps us implement the Pareto principle, which is 80% of your results come from 20% of your time. We should always maintain primary focus on relationships, results, and secondary focus on time. If you guys can transition from whatever you're doing into quadrant number 2,